Hey guys, it is Citri here again, another episode of my Let's Runecraft series about my Faith Fortress in the end. I'm going to go over what's been going on here in my absence. This place is littered with early tests of the FTP rune, the Faith Transfer Portal rune. They weren't all successful. And there were a couple of casualties as well. Faith Fortress itself has suffered an injury. We are missing 1/7 of our Faith Islands. The server owner did say that I would be allowed gold blocks for the purposes of replacing that, and it wouldn't count as cheating to fix this, because it was an early dev build that misplaced my Faith Island rather than an error on my part. So yeah, I'm going to get started on that. I will spend a little bit of time patching up the damage wrought to the end by the testing, and then we'll spend a lot of time getting Faith Fortress ready for teleportation. The first step on the to-do list is obviously getting a replacement island more or less locked into place. I just want Faith Fortress more or less back the way it was. Faith already saturates this land. Full of errors and bugs, and I think moving Faith Fortress is definitely a good idea, because the sheer quantity of strangeness here through all this testing has left it quite unstable. It's rough, it's messy. I was told I could use creative mode, and this is what happens when you let me loose with that kind of power. More or less centered. It's big enough that it doesn't have to be precise. Let's go see if we can get a faith point in at the right location. Now, the exact location for this should be straight up from here. This weird lake that was caused by a topsy-turvy misadventure a while ago. We'll climb all the way up to the right height to build the faith point, and then destroy this column away afterwards. That way for sure will be absolutely centered, and it's going to have to be at this elevation. So gold diamond center block goes there. Let's put some blocks in red north, endstone east west. Let's pick cyan. That was one of the colors I used whilst testing this for llama. There we go, faith point created. See if this will work happily first time. North is that way, I think. No, it's that way. That way. I know my directions. It's much harder without the sun, right? That's one thing we don't have in the end. The sun. We don't have anything in the end. It's just void. Such destination's not been opened. Did I get it backwards? I probably got it backwards. I generally get it backwards. Cyan. And hopefully step 1 of this operation, yeah, perfectly reintegrated. That is much better than I was expecting, actually. Okay, next step is then to go through each of these individual islands, and well, actually, to start off, I want to move the elevator, and I want to put it over there, where that one is, and move that one over here. Essentially, I desire to have a dock for faith vessels to connect to, because we already have some of those in Weaver, so it won't be long before they're cropping up all over the place, and we should allow for them. Sadly, my creative time has come to an end because I fixed Faith Fortress, so I need to get underneath here and place a faith point in the correct place. I need to get under there and place a faith point in the correct place. So I can't be bothered doing flight rune again, I'll just climb up. So yeah, we're centered on what I believe is the center. It's just a matter to jump my way up here, place the faith point. Low on reflection. I've done this the wrong way around. And what I should have done is to make this tower up. And hell, I know how I'm going to get down. Place the faith point at the bottom, and just use, where's my diamond pickaxe? I have a nasty suspicion I accidentally overrode it. I do that a lot. Yes, because faith points bounce everything up to the top of the solid line, it is not at all hard just to place the faith point on the bottom here, and that will allow us to change signatures simply. Okay, and I think for this, oh, I left all my endstone up there, but we will use just endstone for the signatures, 2 north, 2 south, and the plan is to scavenge the waypoint there for gold, because I don't have enough otherwise. And the D8 is broken somehow. I suspect at some point I broke the damage sensor and haven't got around to fixing it yet, which is a pain, and a time slower, and we'll put this one in. Oops, that wasn't the right thing at all. And there we go, that's that one done. And then I'll put another one in over there. Now this will mean the elevator, it has to be operated manually from here on out. But lag there. And that is unfortunately a necessity. And we'll automate it again later, because the automation's in the air, which what allows it to move on its own. It won't come with it. It will only be the automations within the Faith Island that get moved. So that is a slight sadness, but one that can't be helped. It's just the way the runes work. If you start copying everything, you'd end up with why so many things around here are bugged. Should have backed up, didn't back up. There was my foolishness. And we'll do east-west for this one. And now climb our way up. And connect. Then, it should not be that hard to move one Faith Island. The elevator one I think I'll move first, so that it's over that island. Then move that island in here, and then move that Faith Island back, and we'll all be happy. Oh, we're here. This bow is the best rune ever, or at least one of my favorites. Ready to key in the coordinates and go. Alright, so having done that down there, checked the faith point, the destination faith point signatures, we can get up here and stick in the FTP rune for this island. Really gonna have to go back and do this properly at some point. Gonna go get some more cobblestone and gold at some point, but I can show you a neat trick in the meanwhile. You'll note that I'm building a teleport rune here, not an FTP rune. And it's because it looks like that teleporters and faith teleporters store their destinations in the same place in the same way, which means you can use teleporter persistence to swap between teleport runes and faith teleport runes and keep the destination data of whichever one you put there first. The destination is in the place, and it can be used by either FTP runes or teleport runes. So that means with a bit more effort from your part, you can save a wee bit of gold each time you change destinations, or you can just do it the normal way if you happen to have an excess amount. It's just a simple case of coding in like I have done, and then converting it into an FTP rune by extending it, just putting in the gold, and then we'll be good to go. Ah, Faith already saturates this land. That means that the pattern is wrong. Ah, there are torches in the corners, and so that it's trying to use a Faith rune instead. That's this one moving to over there. Ouch. Oh, of course, the the spheres aren't correctly orientated. I want to actually see how this looks from the air. Oh, that is not pleasant. Humorous, but not pleasant. Let's put the other one into the quotation mark right quotation mark place. The same technique applies for retargeting. It is literally a case of just mining out the blocks. If you can be bothered with this each time. I suppose if you're on a creative server, this won't matter. It's just effort. Place those. And you got a teleporter, and it was endstone east-west, I think. Yep. Let's goldify it. Two, three, four, five. To be fair, the only reason it doesn't use gold on on every teleport is because I asked Llama not to make it do that, because I like my D8 concept. I don't want to lose it. Right, that's this island in position, and this is getting horribly higgledy-piggledy. We've got one chunk missing, and two which look like they've been hit by the massive equivalents of topsy-turvy, but gods, I love Runecraft. I really do. I really do. Mark. Okay, so I made a mess of Faith Fortress, getting all the FTP runes into position. I put switchers in all of them. They can go between two different locations, here and the desert place that we chose to move Faith Fortress. A lot of work is going to be done on Faith Fortress, rebuilding it, improving it. Think of this as the start of phase 2. I'm going to get my friend online. She's going to hit the FTP runes, and we get to see Faith Fortress teleport out, and then on to building it, rebuilding it, and making it better. This is such a mess. And the elevator needs redone because it's facing the wrong way. If I go with an elevator, the lab is going to get horribly mangled by this. Farms are all practice destroyed. The D8 is offline. The stores, well, the stores are probably going to be the least affected by all of this, assuming that it doesn't bug and lose their inventory somehow, which would just be my luck.